Shiko, and you're saying you laugh out loud. But literally, you know, there are books you say, but this one, you know, you just
you laugh.
totally burst out laughing. It's where the mom, I think they'd been hijacked in their matatu, and she just threw the
him on
kid.
the and he was asleep.
You know, like, you visualize it, but not the way he explains it. Oh my goodness, this kid
If
is
someone
different.
else was to tell that story,
Yeah.
you really feel sad for that
Yeah.
person, right?
Yeah.
Because here you are in a matatu,
And you're sleeping.
and then like there is a mob that is coming at you guys, and then you just thrown out of the matatu, and she jumps off with
Yeah.
like,
The baby.
the little
Baby,
brother.
yes. Yeah.
And other people, I mean, it's just style, right?
It's, yeah.
And if someone else was to tell you that you're at home, you have a blind grandmother, and then this guy decides to defecate just
Oh, that
right
story.
there.
Let me tell
How
you.
disgusting are you?
And then he's checking
How
it.
disgusting are you?
But then he finds a way to make you laugh about it, and you're laughing
But he
at
really
this
stretched
person
that
who-
story. He really, did you notice that? Like, he was not letting the story end.
Then he
That
ends with a
beat.
prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was funny. No, but
Yeah.
do we have any negatives in this book?
I don't know.
I can't
Yeah,
think of
biased.
any. Maybe
You're
I'm biased also. I am biased.
Okay.
But I really can't. I seriously can't.
Yeah?
I can't.
You know, no, neither do I. Well, for once, usually I've really tried to think of something
Yeah.
a little bit, you know, salty to
It's
say.
not there.
But I also realize why. It's exactly what you said at the beginning. Of course, Magunga is in love. She's kept awake. She keeps cackling at night at 2 o'clock and keeping people awake. And for me, it's because Trevor Noah comes packed. He's like the perfect plutonium bomb, in the sense that you already know him. He has like ability.
Right.
He's been making you laugh.
Yeah.
So he's so sanitized.
Picking up.
Yeah, it's so mean. It would be like, I don't know, stealing like coins from a blind man
Yeah.
to actually say something negative about him.
Yeah.
And I like also what he has said in some of his interviews about like when the white people say, "Oh my God, you know, you had such a rough childhood," and he says,
Like I was happy.
is it
I was
that? Yeah,
happy.
that's
I
normal.
think he had a nose something.
That's how everybody
Yeah.
grew up.
That's
to
like
say.
any other
Yes.
kid in
Yes.
any other part of Africa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, he
Yes.
had a really good childhood.
Yes,
Yes.
he
If you ask
did.
me,
Yes,
compared to
yes,
other
and
kids
Apart
in
from
Africa.
the being alone and
Yeah.
being hidden, but he had
think
made
about
peace
those
with it.
Americans who these days they give their children pills, everything. I have a sister who lives here and now has a child in
Okay.
Atlanta, 8 years, and what she keeps saying is like, the son, they keep saying like, oh, he has attention deficit disorder. Then says, but she said, what if you met my brother? Because he's like that, like you'd have given him pills. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like she's always being given like a set of problems. Yeah. Or if he does something, they're always like analyzing their
Everything
children.
is a problem.
They become a Carl society.
Wow.
For everything is analysis, including with children and so on.
Yeah.
And that's what Magunga, I was talking about, Americanization, that we should be careful not to import.
Yeah.
That's all I
I
meant.
haven't plugged in my book today, but now you say that, let me
Plug
plug
it
it.
in.
Like there's a point where this girl called Esther, when she goes to the UK, and then she realizes, she becomes more aware about mental health, because, you know, every second, third, fifth person has, you know, depressed, and they're taking
Bulimia,
Prozac, and they're doing all
anorexia.
this, and there's doctors. But here she realizes, like, here we still have depressed people, like in Kenya, but we look at them as mad people. Yule mwenda azimu wa pale market, you know, that kind of thing. Like every market has its, you know,
Its own
crazy.
madmen.
So only mad
Exactly.
people are depressed in Kenya. is
But
that
that's the way it is.
I don't understand where you're going.
Yes, yeah,
No,
I know.
Let her get there.
Yeah, can I get there?
Yes.
Can you claim a faster donkey?
Can you let her get there?
So what I'm saying is, when you talk about like Americanization or Westernization of stuff, could we perhaps be heading there? Because like you go there and you realize, you know, when you feel a little depressed, you know, everybody gets sad once in a while, right? But when you are over there, you get sad for 2-3 days and you decide, okay, I'm depressed, and you know, you go see your shrink
Therapist,
and they
yeah.
give you something. I think it's the same kind of danger we're heading there.
Why are you guys using Americanization when you're talking about certain things only. Because when you look at yourselves right now, you
We
guys are
are.
Americanized.
Okay.
You're even speaking English.
Ah, come
You're
on, Magunga.
communicating-
That's such
you're
an
communicating
old.
in English.
Sorry,
Listen.
that's such an
Listen.
old chestnut.
Americanization.
You're
You guys
flogging
listen
a
to
horse.
us
No, you
and
sound
you
like
do
those
everything
guys. You're
American.
acting
We
like
have
those
to do
old
everything.
professors in 19.
So, like, when
In
you talk-
1961, you can't go. You know exactly
why are we
what I'm
cherry
saying.
picking? Why are we cherry picking?
That's false
I'm saying that
influence.
this
Okay,
aspect
let me
of-
help
this
you.
aspect of-
Let me help you.
mental health.
It's okay
mental
to cherry
health-
pick. It's okay
mental
to cherry
health is
pick.
a thing that people go through.
It's
We have
okay
And I'm
to
not
cherry
downplaying it, by
right?
the way. I'm
Just
not
to-
downplaying it.
Like,
I am not
it is a thing
downplaying
that
it.
people go through. You need to be taken care of if you're going through it.
All Tony
Because
said is-
we all know, we've seen the statistics
I
about
think everybody understood, and everyone even watching at home understood
What you're
exactly.
saying.
No, but
No.
you
Unless they
you
put
guys
a
are
filter
talking
like
about
yourself.
let's not be
Yeah,
Americanized.
yeah.
Like,
Because I don't want
what
to
do you
use
mean
very
by
many
Americanization
words.
that you guys
And
are
she
scared
said,
Yeah.
what we are scared of is I said there are certain African things
Yes.
which we should be careful
Yes.
about breaching in the name of
In
modernity.
yes.
And everyone understood that except you, Magunga.
No,
So
the thing is,
Magunga-
I disagree. Not that I don't understand. I understand it perfectly, but I
So
disagree.
why
Okay,
The
can we move
problem
on,
is
or should I
this.
walk away and leave you talking about your cherry picking?
Okay, the Supreme Court has
and what you do?
I don't think there's anything wrong with celebrating, by the way.
Yeah.
I
So,
think it is.
and the thing is, we'll never agree about everything, but it's okay to have everyone, have an opinion, so to speak. Back to Trevor Noah, who's bringing up this heated dialogue. I think, yes, all of you find him amazing, but there's this bit where he speaks about spending a part of his life in Soweto. And he describes how they would wake up, they don't sell CDs, he'd go be a DJ, da da da. I kind of felt that was like overstretched. I'm like, okay, boy, we get the picture. I felt like he was trying to show the world that, look, it has been a long road to this success, like super long road. And I also felt he was trying to, quote unquote, maybe prove is not the right word, to his fellow South Africans that I did not have it handed over in a silver spoon because of the way it just was not ending. I do not know whether you agree or not. You, of course, you don't agree, so we'll go to Shiko.
That's obvious.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right?
You, of course, you're already biased. Tony said you're already in love.
Yeah, but that having been said,
Okay.
I didn't feel like it was overstretched.
Okay.
Because he was heading towards something. There's a particular story he was telling in that particular narrative, right? Especially the thing about CDs. He was bringing out, the thing is, if you are used, you're African, you're Kenyan, yeah, and probably these poverty stories are a bit too much for you, right? But the thing is, that's what he went through as a kid.
I don't refuse.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to challenge is the aspect of being overstretched, because it wasn't really stretched. For me, in fact, if anything, the lead up, it was building up to this moment where him and his friend Hitler were DJing at a concert,
Yeah.
and they had to go through this thing with these white people, because
Yes.
for them he was bringing out the thing about naming, for instance, yeah, where it's not a it's for them in South Africa at that time, it wasn't a big deal being called Hitler, and then they go perform to this white audience where they get so, they
That
got
was
so
so
worked up, the
funny.
show was ended and everything.
Yeah.
So
A
I
Jewish
don't
audience.
think it
They were
was
Jewish, yes.
It was Jewish, right? Yeah. So for me, I don't think it was.
Super stretched.
I
Like
don't
we
think it
wake
was
up,
super
I don't know,
stretched.
you have to do what.
Yeah,
They
but
are
I can
doing.
see how it is
Yeah.
tiring, because it is like stories of poverty are stories that
We're
we
used
get.
to.
They
Yeah,
tire you.
yeah.
They
So
can
they are
tire
tiring
you,
maybe
yeah.
because of the person that
It
you
didn't
are.
feel like he was justifying to his
Maybe he was as well. But I think he could have. But like Bagunga says, I think he was leading to something.
Yeah.
And like for me, I didn't get tired because I think with Trevor, I'm always looking for the next
joke.
Yeah, you're
You know,
waiting for where the
I'll
punchline.
read.
Yeah.
I'll read 10,000 pages of
Yeah.
him. So maybe I'm not the right person to say whether it was stretched or not. Because
So you and Magunga are two peas in a pod. You should be sitting there.
Yeah, so that I join your pod. Yeah, because I really am on your
You
pod
had
on
to.
this. Yeah, absolutely. This book had a huge advance, eh?
Yeah.
And whites get very disappointed. If you have ever dealt with a white, yeah, when they hair like this, they just feel like you should have a really bad story.
Okay.
Like they are disappointed. Like really, eh?
If you don't have a
I
bad
once had
story.
some German girlfriend, very many years ago.
Okay.
But she used to be like, yeah, she wants like some bad story. Yeah. And you know, my only bad story is my dad used to drink a lot, but he was very funny.
Yeah.
And that's all. That's really,
That's the worst.
you know, that's among like, yeah. And the other I can't share.
So
And I
she
don't
wanted
want-
a really bad story.
Yeah, like,
Like you
and then
did it for 5
say, like, let's
days.
go like to the great musicians in Dandora. Why can we not go there this weekend? I'm like, I don't like Dandora. Yeah. I feel like I'll be robbed. Yeah. I mean, really, yeah.
Maybe she wanted to show you being robbed.
Yeah.
It's a bad story.
There is a ways to get rid of
Yeah.
of your Miro guy. So these people, they always know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about that last week about Chimamanda.
Yes.
So they sort of know, like over here, you have to tell some bad, funny story in Soweto, Kibra. I mean, there are people who can literally land at Wilson Airport. First stop is Kibera, and that's the only thing they do in Nairobi. Go round, yeah, be put back on private charter, go to Watamu
Yeah.
or to Lewa,
And
go
it
see
makes them feel like
safari.
we've done some
Yes.
service to the
But you
world.
can't
So they've done
blame them
sea,
because that's what they
safari.
get.
Trevor Noah has surpassed this. He has surpassed the African continent, right? And now he's
a global celebrity.
He's a global celebrity.
Yes.
So you're telling a story, and you have two audiences in mind.
Yes.
There are the people whose story you want to tell, the
Yeah.
people where you're from,
Your people.
right? And then there are people who you're telling the story to,
Yeah.
right? So you'll find him explaining things that for us we would understand,
Yeah.
for instance, right?
Yeah.
But white people need to be, you know, you need to feed
Step by
them,
step.
and feed them. So there is that aspect
Yeah.
of you kind of have to strike a balance somewhere
Yeah.
in between.
Yeah. It's a delicate dynamic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though, like, I think so. You've made me understand it because I know it. I've seen it. I've grown in it. So reading it, I'm like, come on. Can
I
we
know
move on
this
to the
better
next?
than you.
Yeah.
I can tell
Yeah.
the story.
Can we just go to the next story?
can
Like
tell
this
this
sort of
story.
waking up, burning CDs. We know this. We know. So yeah. You've cracked it open. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I agree.
And his ideology, if I may call it, on like this part where he was explaining about these girls he had crushes on while in high school. Was it high school or college? I can't even remember. So he had a crush on this lady. I mean, the way he described her, saying she even looks like this American star. I can't remember. This Hollywood American,
Halle Berry.
not Halle Berry. There's another. It's not Salma Hayek. Yes, like he was really trying to describe this girl and said the only way I can describe her is, you know, and then apparently the girl also had a crush on him, but she left. The parents, you know, went to America, and then he came to later know that this chick actually had a crush on you. You were the slow one, you know. So it was in the story.
Weren't we all?
Yeah.
Right? With the Catherines and the
Oh, please.
Chicos of the world.
So he has one or two similar
suffered
stories, but I find he's very vague on his personal relational life. And those of you who are in love with him, maybe you could tell us, like, why you think.
But even now we don't know who he's seeing. Yeah?
Well, I think we do. Like, if you follow, if you go to his social media, like he has a picture with this girl who you assume is his girlfriend.
Yeah, but
because-
See?
So you see, we
Assume.
have to assume.
yes.
Assume.
And I think that's deliberate.
I think it's deliberate.
But there's
too.
something he said in the book where he said, especially after that experience of this girl whom he really, really, really loved and could not speak, actually the other story was one could not speak the language. So they went for prom, and I'm really trying to gather those pieces together.
Went for prom in South Africa.
Yeah, there was prom.
Americanization.
American, yeah, they had prom, and he realized actually his friend is one who had hooked him up to her, and all along it's the friend who used to like talk on his behalf. So he didn't know that this chick we can't actually talk. So there was a bit of drama there. Then there's this statement he said that for me was very yes, where he said like he's come to realize when it comes to relationships, you do not own the person. Like you're just with them then and then. Kikiumana kimeumana. Like he had a very, it's like those two junior or rather juvenile experiences. Just, I got the feeling he got detached
But
from.
I think he also is very used to being on his own.
Yeah, he said that. He said
Yeah,
he's an
I think
introvert.
yeah, he's used to keeping himself company. So there he says that he has to remember to be with people.
Yes.
Yeah, he has to remember that I
Yeah.
need to be with people because he's so used
But
to
why would
spending
such a guy not have a partner?
you know, because
Come on, Trevor, come on.
but how do you maybe he does have a partner, but there's
That
some
he
people
really
who,
keeps
yeah, there are people who
private.
make conscious decisions to keep their
Relationships.
that side of their lives
Yeah,
quiet,
because it can
you
get
know.
messy.
Exactly.
I think Trevor, and he gives it away in some subliminal ways in the book. Yeah, like he says, he's that guy. He's with everybody. He's that popular guy. Yeah, he was neither black nor white, but he, he's the funny guy. There's always that, that guy who breezes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he listens to people a bit, but he also gets to be a bit of a star
Yeah.
because he's funny
Yeah.
and so on. So sometimes such people, who just said that is used to being, there's a part of them that is both alone and lonely
Exactly.
Yes.
and observational.
Yeah.
And I think, number one, I think he's that kind of person. I think
He
he's
says
that cool guy.
Yeah.
And he says, never overstay your welcome. So such people also don't open up too much. Yeah. You're like, oh, that's a great guy. That's a nice guy. He's all things to everybody.
Yes.
He's
yes.
popular and he won't hang around too long. To
He
be too
retreats.
intimate. Yeah. He'll move on to the next.
Yeah.
To the next.
Yeah.
What a waste.
To the next circle. Eh? And then secondly, I also think a guy like this at this stage in his career is not very interested. I'm not saying he's a player or anything. I don't know anything about his
Yeah.
personal life, which is why we are describing it. But they're very careful to keep their brand open, as if they're available. Because there's this unreasonable thing. Sometimes it happens. Somebody's like a star,
Gets
especially
married.
teen stars. Eh? They get married, then they
the girls
lose
lose.
a lot of audience among
I
women.
know.
Yeah, they
But
actually
come on, Will
like,
Smith, Denzel.
yeah,
But you see,
look at the
we've
ages we are
had
talking
time.
about.
Those guys are
Look at those
heading
are
to
ours.
50.
How old is Will Smith? I think
I think
it's
he
50
turned
now.
50.
Just turned 50
And
this
he
year,
has
yeah.
turned 70 almost.
Because you see, like somebody like Denzel, we don't even know
Denzel
much
has
about
got
his
a
wife,
fountain
yeah?
of youth.
Yeah.
Denzel is old. He's like me. I think he's a vampire. Yeah. I wish I could go drink. Kama ni maji ya azur, unakunywa unabaki hivi.
Okay.
So we can't actually discuss that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as if
Yeah.
he's young and
Okay,
he
I
looks
hear you.
available. He's like, hey,
He needs to keep this perception of
I'm available.
Yeah.
let me not let you conclude or anything.
Yes.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that the book didn't touch on how he made it on The Daily Show. Because I think that would have been a really...
But don't we
Great
already
story.
know? So,
I mean,
Do
okay,
we?
you wanna
Do
go
we?
first?
yeah.
So the book is not about that, right? The book is about where he came from,
Yeah.
and the title is Born a Crime, and it's just about him being this kid born in the ghetto to mixed children, and the whole essence, the whole discussion around race in South Africa. Yeah, so it's actually a memoir for anything. It's not an autobiography that will tell you your whole story.
Yeah.
It just gives you a snippet of his.
You have every
particular
answer to any negative Trevor Noah statement, don't you? Don't you? Eh?
Yes.
You published him a bit.
And I'm
You-
not sorry.
Oh, please. Ebutoni, here
The best
Ebutoni.
Magunga.
I think he
also
should have
think
told us
that-
about the
Yeah,
Daily
yeah.
Show, don't you?
Yes,
The
yeah.
Daily Show, I think when he got on the Daily Show, even people who didn't know Trevor Noah knew Trevor Noah from that point. So
Yes.
so I don't think there's much to tell about.
No, especially for his African audience. Like, how did this African child
And that's what the book
make
is
it
about.
to the big time?
Yeah, the book is about that. Then from there, it was
Yeah, but who hooked him up? Like, did he look for jobs? Was he like denied 100 times
So do you
before
want me to tell you the story?
No. no.
No, you should
You
have
know-
told. You see, now he even
know
wants
the
to.
story.
Magunga
And it's
now
not
wants
even
to write.
written.
He wants to add another chapter to defend him.
Nobody told it so many times.
Where?
He told it
He
to
has.
Oprah.
Hey, tell
Yeah,
us.
but who
it's
watches Oprah?
online. It's everywhere.
Everywhere. How he got
You
to
tell
it.
us.
Yeah?
Tell the audience.
Yes.
Ah man, go Google. It's on YouTube.
No, you tell us. You
Yeah,
shorten
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Give
this-
it to us
this
in
generation.
30
Anyway,
seconds.
the whole thing, he was doing a show in UK. He had this whole show that he was doing.
Yeah.
And then he was in UK. He was called by Stewart, Jon Stewart.
Jon
Yeah.
Stewart.
Yeah. And then he told Jon Stewart, Stewart wanted him to come in and be part of the show. And then he was like, No, I'm kind of busy right now. Let's talk again some other time. And then 1 year later, he was in the US, and then he called them up. He became a correspondent, and then he took off. That's the short version.
Okay.
A very unsatisfying
I'm
short.
very unsatisfied.
It's not a-
I'm
it's
unfulfilled.
not a love
The thing
story.
is, you want it to be in the book. but
I
for
want
him-
it in the
That's
book.
called the one
Not a
minute
love
Magunga.
story.
The 1 minute Magunga version.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, for the
And no one
long
is ever
version,
happy
you
with
go
that.
and find it on YouTube.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, look, the many Africans who do not have access to online media, but those who can read his book, at least for their sake, you get. The same way you have made my mind tired reading about your life in Soweto.
Yeah.
It's the same way you should have inspired me by saying my door was open in this way and it can happen to you too. But you know, that's just me, and I'm
Maybe
not
he's bringing
paranoid.
side B.
Maybe there's a sequel.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
with the side B.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
That's true.
So if you have access to his book, then you'll have access to a 5-minute YouTube.
Huu mlimtoa wapi?
Yeah, I think
Whichever no.
this is what happens when you go to collect things online. You never know what you end up with.
What you end up? Anyway, so we are saying yeah or nay?
Yay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Yay.
Yes.
But now, if you are to ask that in Parliament, the nays will have it.
Yes. The nays have it.
I agree, this is a yes. If you just want to, like, for real, laugh out loud. Not those fake ones where you just laugh ile kwa roho. This one you just totally burst out
howl.
laughing. Yeah, and you totally get inspired and you get to meet all the people who surround his life, especially his mom. Then this may be a book you want to invest in this month. And with that, we say thank you to our panel. If you want to join this team for our next shows, let us know, Life and Style at standardmedia.co.ke. And we want to wish you a good day.